So welcome everyone to day 11 of our Onevinn Advent calendar with tips and tricks for Intune and Windows security admins. And today we're going to talk about how we can require security keys for Intune admins as it's a privileged role and you get a lot of permissions with that role. Right, Niklas? So how can we protect ourselves?
Yeah, so this is our beloved, highly privileged Intune admin role. So if we are using it, and if we're not using any custom RBAC roles, we definitely want to make sure that we protect it as much as possible. So this is what we want to see when we come in the morning as an Intune admin. When we go ahead and click around the Intune portal, we want to see unauthorized, like you do not have permissions to see any of this. And this is a good reminder that, oh yeah, I need to load or activate my Intune admin role. So if I head over to Intune portal, click on tenant administration and on privileged identity management or PIM, and I go to my roles, this is where I would go to activate and enable this role. But before we can do that, I really want to shine some light upon some configurations that I think everyone should consider for this highly privileged role. So within conditional access, we have the possibility to configure authentication strengths. And by doing so, we could actually go ahead and create a custom type or a custom authentication strength and say, hey, anytime we want to use this strength, we are going to require passkeys or FIDO2. And to even further drill into this topic, I wanted to show like, hey, when we configure this, there is an advanced option as well. And if we click on the advanced options, we are actually allowed to add a specific GUID of which security keys we allow. So let's say we have a standard. Let's say, hey, we want to use only YubiKeys for the security key. Then we could go ahead and add the YubiKeys that we do allow to that list. And if you are uncertain of the actual GUID that your keys have, there is a good support article on ubico.com that you can go ahead and check. And then to be able to work with a specific role within PIM, what we want to do is configure an authentication context, because when we configure the conditional access policy, there is no way to pinpoint an actual role in a good way within PIM. So in order to do that, we can click a new authentication context, and this is what we can do. If we write or develop our own apps, we can actually use this ID. In this case, I chose the C1, that's the first one in the list. So we can use that within our context as well for our own apps. So by using this, we can actually pinpoint our PIM role. In our case, it's going to be the Intune admin role, but of course you can use this for your own apps or other roles as well. And once we have our authentication context, we are ready to configure the conditional access policy. And this is basically where all the magic will happen. So for this one, I wanted to just give it a good name. Just in this case, I'd use this for all users or even external users. If I have external admins in my environment, they must use the security key as well. And as you can see here, for the target resource, we want to change from cloud apps to authentication context. And this is the context we just configured, requires security key. So within our grant, we want to use our authentication strength, the first thing we configured, which said, hey, you need to use a security key. And if we want to go down the advanced path, we can use a specific set of AA GUIDs as well. So we must use a security key, otherwise there will be no PIM or PIM admin role. Okay, that's it for the conditional access policy. The last bit here is to go ahead and configure our PIM role. So with enough privileges to configure a specific role, we can go to PIM, we will click on roles, and in our case, we want to search for the Intune admin role. And we go down to settings and click on edit. So this is where the last bits of the puzzle are done. So with on activation, we want to change from Azure MFA to use Entra conditional access and a specific authentication context. And the context is require a security key. And by doing so, I kind of add this context to whenever I want to enable the Intune admin role from PIM, I will need to show and sign in with my security key. So let's have a look at this. As you can see here, I am signed in as Alex. He is an Intune admin, but he has not enabled the role yet. As you can see, nothing here, nothing too much to look at. Let's head over to the Intune tenant administration. We'll click on PIM, my roles. Here it is. Here is my Intune admin role. I'll click on activate. And as you can see here in the slightly yellowish background, you can see a conditional access policy is enabled and may require additional verification. Click to continue. Okay, so let's click it and see what they want us to do. They want us to use a security key. This is in Swedish. Säkerhetsnyckel is security key. Okay, let's use it. Here is my PIN. I need to touch it and I should be allowed to continue with activating this PIM role. All right, so it's validating my request. And let's enable this. And after a little while, we should be allowed to act as an Intune admin. And the next morning, when this role has automatically expired, I need to go ahead and activate it again by using my security key. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, that's awesome tips, Niklas. We need to make sure our environment is secure. So great stuff, great stuff. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow, Niklas.